So grateful to have you here today with us. And I'm
Yes,
just ready to dive in with you into the 2026 Vedic
yes,
Astrology forecast. So let's
yes,
start with our first date. That brings us to February 17th, the solar eclipse. Rahu and Venus are going to be in Shatabhisha Nakshatra alongside
yes,
Moon, Sun, Mercury, which will also be in Aquarius during this
yes,
eclipse. And
yes,
just a side note, Mars will be crossing the eclipse degree a couple days later, February
yes,
27th to the 28th. So
yes.
what will this energy bring for us?
Okay. So all the action is in Aquarius. Okay. And as like some people know now that we are going into the age of Aquarius. So this is another trigger point, for the going into age of Aquarius. It'll trigger it. So he's fastening movement towards the age of Aquarius and the Aquarian values, knowing instead of believing, and all of those will get a strong boost, strong trigger boost. There's so many grahas giving it their energy, so it'll be, yeah, like like there have been a lot of conjunctions like that in Aquarius over the last 20 years. And this is another boost for the Aquarian age, basically the coming Aquarian age. That's the, so group work, all of those things, communities, all of those things getting a boost. And like the correct living, harmonized living with Earth, universal forces, all of that come into the so a positive eclipse. Eclipse is not always negative.
Would
Yeah.
you consider it a positive eclipse also because Rahu
Yeah.
and Venus are in Shatabishak, which is a particular nakshatra of healing?
As a whole, I mean, all of the sign of Aquarius, like it is like it's good. I mean, but Shadbishak is a more hidden energy, you know, and Rahu is a hidden energy, so it won't be obvious the things from it. So let's keep it Shadbishak hidden, that part, you know. Yes.
Do you also see an increase in technology being that it's in Aquarius and that whole
Yeah,
push?
yeah, technology, but also that will take people to the right sort of understanding of things. As technology increases, humans will have to basically face the like some sort of clarity in regards to things. It's a it's a build up. It's a push for clarity, actually. Even the technological push. Yeah,
Interesting. So then on February 20th, we have
yeah,
a Saturn is conjunct the star sheet. When Saturn conjuncted the star sheet in Pisces last year, we had astronomical flooding in Texas. It
yeah.
rose within 45 minutes a river to
Right.
27 feet and literally wiped out Camp Mystic.
Yes,
Many
yes, yes,
girls went
yes,
missing and died. It
yes,
was
yes.
a horrible event that's still deeply affecting everyone in the community. And this is
Yes,
going to be happening once again on
yes.
February 20th. So what do you think is happening with that conjunction
Okay.
over sheet?
Okay. So the first thing is that when we come to Jyotish, angle of this is that Saturn is going into Uttara Bhadrapada, actually, the nakshatra. Okay, so that it does in January. Okay, in January it moves to Uttara Bhadrapada. Now, Saturn in Uttara Bhadrapada means Saturn in Saturn's own nakshatra. Okay, okay. Now, if Saturn is in its own nakshatra, then Saturn is more free to give its results to the collective, which are more judgmental results. You know, Saturn is like a judgment graha, related graha, and those results become more, like, let's say, it has the power to be free in that way. You know, in when it was in Purva Bhadrapada, it was still sort of tied by Jupiter in a way, but when in Uttara Bhadrapada, it is not. Okay. Then comes the stars like Sheath and other important major stars, which obviously mark times, exact times of happenings. Okay. So there can be some major thing at that time. But the star thing, these stars and what their results are, that's a very big topic. It's a very, very, we can't go into the whole thing here. But yes, they do denote exact timings. for events, so they can be a more worldwide event, but not necessarily natural disaster, but something similar in another way. But it relates to like the overall judgment on humanity, you know, which is, obviously like increasing since the year 2020, and now it'll just gain more momentum with Saturn's foray into Uttara Bhadra, basically.
And
Yeah.
on March 3rd, we are
Yeah.
going into the lunar eclipse in Leo,
Yes.
18 degrees Purva Falguni, Pada 2.
Yeah.
What do you think is activating within the sign of Leo?
Okay. That eclipse is basically like, there is Leo sign can sometimes lead to ego, you know. So there is a trigger collapse of that, because for the Aquarian age to manifest, the Leo sign has to be working not from ego, but from, it's more real, like solar thing, you know. So this will help the Aquarian angle of the first eclipse, you know. It's just the counterpart of it, breaking down of ego situations.
Oh,
Okay.
okay,
Collective ego, even you can say individual egos, collective egos, a breakdown, you know,
that's
basically.
great.
Yeah. So that helps the Aquarian age angle, right? Like, because both are simultaneous processes. How will you have the Aquarian thing if that doesn't happen? You know, so the lunar eclipse in Leo is helping the solar eclipse in Aquarius, basically. So they can be you can consider them twin eclipses pointing towards the same thing, basically.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that. And it's so true. Each opposite
yeah,
sign, it's like
yeah,
one has the remedy that the other one needs in order for both to be in their full
yeah,
expression.
yeah, yeah. So yeah,
Mhm. So I'm very excited about this one. May 29th to June 2nd, Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury will form a Saraswati Yoga in Gemini.
okay. Now this one I have to tell you one thing, that these yogas are more for individual charts. They don't
Mm.
apply for mundane Jyotish, like overall collective, that thing. Yeah, but it is still like a good energy in terms of communication, you know, for
Mhm.
like a positive communication, like amongst on earth, like so, like the right things being spoken, and right things going more viral,
Mm.
that sort of thing, correct, like real things in line with the universe, you know, kind of things, the facts, the truth of the universe
Yeah, that
getting
makes
more viral.
sense with Gemini
Communication,
communication.
communication in that way, getting more viral, getting more attention, that kind of thing.
Good.
That's
And I
yeah,
remember years
yeah,
ago, you told me that everything that's happening pretty much you laid out to me many, many years ago. And you said the thing is that everyone's got cameras now, so you can't get away with anything. It's all
yeah,
filmed, it's all getting out there immediately
yeah,
when it's
yeah,
done.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm definitely seeing that play out, and all of the
yeah.
corruption that's been able to hide in the shadows is just getting flushed out, and they just don't know what to do about it anymore. They're losing control.
Yeah, yeah, but in this communication, which I mean in this will be more like higher level than the that thing. It's more real stuff like of the universe, and
It's
which
perfect.
which needs more getting viral, right? Like it has not been. A lot of those kind of things are more under the carpet, and more other things get viral. So maybe this is a change in that direction, that we're getting more of those kind of things getting viral more. Yeah,
Exactly. Things that are
yeah.
actually going to help aid and evolve
Yeah, yeah.
humanity.
Humanity. Yeah, that's exactly the point. Yes.
Beautiful. So our next one is on June 1st, Jupiter enters Cancer. And just so everyone knows, Prashant prefers to say Kirk instead of Cancer because he does not like to call a sign a disease.
Yeah.
So from here on out, I'm going to be calling Cancer Kirk so everyone is
Yes.
aware.
Right. Yeah. So
Um,
Jupiter into Kark Rashi, basically, which is a
mhm.
Sanskrit name for that sign. Yeah, that is a thing which will help the what I call the light side forces. The forces which are in harmony with divine and nature.
Hmm.
They will get a positive push. They'll get more energized by
Oh,
that. So Jupiter as the benefic, Guru of Devtas will help those beings, you know. So that there will be like a good sign for all people who are trying to do that kind of work all
yeah.
over the earth, in that direction. So for them, it's a very good time. Like it's a time to move forward and accomplish
That's
things.
great. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know that you reference exaltation and debilitation in a different sense than most astrologers do.
yeah, yeah,
But technically, this is in its exaltation, so it loves to be here. It shines bright, it's powerful. Do you think
yeah.
that this transit is also going to be affecting the economy in any way?
Not so much. This is more about like people who want to do things in the right way, getting,
Okay.
they're getting their things done. Actually, like if they had roadblocks, if they had, things, those things getting out of the way, the
Mhm.
way getting clear for them to act on it.
Can you give
So
us an example of like some roadblocks that they'd be able to overcome with this energy?
like for example, right now, if people try to like do something which is like natural and organic and things like that, then governments put all kinds of conditions and stuff which makes it more like you have to pay more, you don't get enough back from that, all kinds of financial things, other things which happen for people. I think the incentive will go the other way after that. Like, there'll be a support, for doing things like that. You know, in fact, like you can make, like you can, if it is good quality stuff, which is in tune with nature and in alignment with the Earth's, energies, that will be more valuable. Suddenly it'll be valued more. So there'll be incentive actually to go in that direction rather than like a stoppage, which has been there for many years. People know that, like
Yeah,
um, it's been policy of the structures that to
yeah.
prioritize
I'm
other
think
things. You know, yeah,
exactly. I'm thinking
yeah,
about the farmers and growing the food and
yeah,
everywhere around the world pretty much.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
actually more expensive to buy food that isn't sprayed. And it's
yeah,
it's reverse logic because if you're
yeah,
having to invest in all of these toxic chemicals to
yeah,
spray on your food, it costs more to do
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
So it's
yeah.
reverse.
All this flipping will people get aware of it and a lot of the changes are going to get made like in a lot of ways, but that's just one example I gave. But in all kinds of ways there'll be progress, and people will feel internally also that they can do things, like there'll be no negativity, like the internal negativity will also disappear. That
Mm.
feeling that is this possible or not possible, people will think that yeah, it's possible. And when you feel like that internally, then more things become possible, right? So that positivity. you know,
Interestingly enough, Jupiter, as we spoke about in our last year forecast, is in a speeding up process.
yeah,
And this year, it is going to be passing through three signs,
yeah,
and that is Gemini, where it is right now.
yeah,
It's going to go
third,
into Kirk,
yeah,
Cancer, and then it's going to touch into Leo, which is
yes,
quite interesting. And then it enters Leo October 31st. What do you
yeah.
think that's going to be helping and
But yeah, that
representing?
results will come more next year, because
Oh,
yeah, but it still will carry on with the same work which it was doing in Kirk. In Leo, is pretty much similar, the situation.
okay.
It's more confidence in those kind of areas for the forces which are more in line with divine in nature, you know, more moving forward. Same,
Yeah.
push.
So
carries on.
it's like the
Yeah.
solar principle of
Yeah, yeah, from the lunar to the solar, but it's this overall, it'll still be the wheels are pulling in the same direction.
nice. That's
Yeah,
good. I'm happy to
yeah,
see through the
yeah,
astrological reflection that we're
yeah.
also being aided into finally evolving upwards and not getting so pulled down and brought,
Yes,
into this dark ages that we've been in for so long.
yes,
On our next one, we've got August 12th, the solar eclipse in Ashlesha, 25 degrees, and it's going
yes,
to be conjunct Jupiter.
yes. So again, like Jupiter was giving energy in that direction. We already know that it is like benefiting people who are in the like the divine flow. The eclipse in that sign will cut off mental conditionings of people, you know,
Oh,
negative mental conditionings and all of that programming and all of that, which is the moon realm, the mental realm, like a cutting through, like a breakthrough of that. So that will aid Jupiter's process actually, this eclipse. Okay. So it's
oh.
that is also a good eclipse again. So it has a very precise purpose.
I
It's
can
a
see
very,
that
yeah,
adding up as
yeah,
well from a planetary
yeah,
perspective because the Ashlesha is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is
yeah,
a lot of our mental faculty.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So Moon Mercury, the whole thing, like the whole programming, advertising matrix, and all of that. You like a sword cutting through it.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
So on
yeah.
November 13th, we have, this is quite interesting, Mars, K2, and Jupiter. They're having a conjunction in Leo at 1 degree.
Okay. This cycle is more for next year again. Like it's in November, so it'll give results more up in December, Jan, and everything. That's again, the solar energy is there from in Jupiter when it comes to into Leo, and then that is being aided forward by these grahas. Okay, and if any kind of thing was remaining from the eclipse, the ego thing from the last, lunar eclipse, that correction will happen in this time, you know, because of the Ketu's presence, So it is, you know,
Yeah.
it's it's like a thing where like again more ego crushing while soul uplifting. There is that internal clash between ego and soul, and spirit. So in that spirit is getting more powerful and ego is
Oh,
getting more crushed. So
yeah.
that's
And that's exactly what we need as a
yeah,
collective
yeah,
to
yeah,
ascend and to rise past this certain
yeah,
level of consciousness that we've been at.
yes, yes, yes. So collectively, that is both pointing in the same. It's connected to the lunar eclipse in Leo, and then this energy triggering it forward. But this is results of this one will be more next year, even more. you know,
Oh, that's right. Yes,
because
because
it's
we're
the end
going
of
to,
the year. Like yeah, so
yeah. And then next year, we're going to have continued more of those
yeah, yeah,
eclipses.
yeah.
And then our last one here, we've got November 25th, Rahu enters Capricorn and Ketu enters Kirk.
Okay. Now, Capricorn, is structures. Okay, of the world, the
Mhm.
structures which govern the functionings of Earth structures and stuff. And Rahu is change, right? So, so that 1.5 years will be quick change in all of that. Again, a strong change in everything, how things function. Now, this can be a lot of things, in, including wars, different things, and combinations, and all kinds of things. Yeah, AI coming into picture, a lot of things, involved in this. It's a very complicated thing, this thing, you know. But finally, like humanity will have to use it for its own purposes when the change happens, because right now any change is a good change, right? From the current structure, right?
Yeah.
So if change is happening, even if it is going in a negative direction, then that is still good because it will still take you closer to that line, where things have to. change and reset, and so any which way it'll be a very transformative energy in that
Hmm.
Capricornian field, which is going along with the Jupiter Saturn conjunctions which happened before
Hmm.
of similar kind, which have already changed things in this last 4 or 5 years.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
this will just carry it forward in a more intensity, so
The
yeah.
trust in the government system has just
That
completely
that that that'll
dwindled.
be that'll be like gone like, completely. By that time, you know,
Finally.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah,
Oh, it's been wonderful to see its descent and finally even the
yeah,
people that were just so adamant towards government are now even starting to question it, what we
yeah,
would call
yeah,
the
yeah.
muggles.
At least you can say this is the final rites, the final nails in the coffin. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's very exciting. I've been waiting for
yeah,
that for a long
yeah.
time.
Yes,
It's
yeah,
wonderful. I did want to really clarify something to the astrological community through your grace, and that is that many astrologers are
yeah,
saying that we are still in Kali Yuga, the age of darkness, and that we will be here for many, many more years. And
yeah,
Prashant so clearly states that it is impossible to remain in that level of darkness and this level of chaos and destruction for
yes,
more than a few years. It's just
yeah,
not possible. So,
yeah. It's
just to
not feasible.
clarify, are we still in the age of Kali Yuga?
Like in the thing is, we are in transition age. Okay, so we are neither in age of Kali Yuga, neither we are in the next age. We are just in transition period, and transition periods, are more. There is more activity there. Just because before sunrise is the darkest hour. But just before dawn. And there's a lot of activity in this. It's the maximum darkness, and light is about to come in, and all of those transition things. So we are right in the cusp basically right now. So that's why so much upheaval and so much, uh, so that's where I'll put us like right now. Simultaneously, like light and dark is running simultaneously, like emerging light along with that maximum darkness. So,
Hmm. Yeah. And also, many astrologers are saying that we are still in the age of Pisces. And I strongly disagree with this. I think that it is so evident that we are in the Aquarian age right now. I mean, everything has become technological and being able to connect with humanity within an instant,
yeah,
connecting across
yeah.
the world.
When when we started having like across the air radio communication, you know, that is Aquarian age is already there. You know,
Yes.
and that was in early 1900s. And that wireless basically,
Hmm.
and then airplanes, things. So I mean that is beyond any doubt. It started then, but it takes a while. Again, ages have a transition, 100 odd years of
Hmm.
transition time. So obviously, that's what we are in that way also. Yeah.
And the
So
religious dominance really is a thing of the past where religion
yeah,
and state were one, and now that's
yeah.
been separated, and people aren't really following religions in the way they used to, and
No,
everything
no,
has become
no.
more
Obviously,
scientifically based and wanting to get to the truth of what something is.
yes, yes. So all of that, like all of that science are there. That's why, but it takes 100 odd years, to
Hmm.
for it to happen. So it's been happening. It's on its way, the whole thing. Yeah. So like right now, like we are on the precipice from a lot of things, that this age, that age, a lot of age transitions are happening simultaneously right now. So that's why it's more like maybe more strange than it has been on Earth even in the past. Like it's much more strange right now in that way. Yeah.
Final question, not related to any particular transit, but
Yeah.
we've all been seeing just kind of an increase in warlike behavior and provocation between countries.
Yes.
What we've seen that happen in Venezuela, and now that's, happening in
Everywhere.
Iran.
Yeah. Everywhere, like pretty much, yes. There
Hmm.
are a lot of flashpoints, like all across the
Yes.
earth. but which are necessary for the change. Without this kind of thing, the change can't happen, because otherwise status quo will be maintained, and nobody wants a status quo. So these things will actually finally trigger a collapse, before a new system can be built, a new earth can be built. So this is the science of the collapse. It's just,
Yeah.
and collapse will happen in that kind of way. People have to understand collapse requires, you know,
Yeah, and it seems like this collapse is
war.
definitely going to continue into the next year when Saturn is going to be entering Aries, which is its quote unquote debilitation.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
really a rough transition, and so I'm sure this is probably going to be a multi-year
yeah. All of that,
transition.
like those fronts will be increasing. Like even if there are some signs of peace, there'll be false flags, you know, of peace. They'll be not real, and it has to continue like that. It has to reach its final end. Everything, to in order to the for the collapse to happen. So there is no way of stopping this. Actually, really. Like, there is nothing. It's part of the process of
Mm.
change, basically. Yeah.
And for those, watching all of this and just wanting to do the best that they can throughout the year, what would you recommend to everyone in ways
I
that
mean,
they
which
can
I always
navigate
do the
this?
same thing. Like you have to connect to nature, do meditation, ground. All of those things remain the same. Those are timeless things. They'll
Yep.
apply to every year. And the time, seasons, eras, ages, everything can change, but those things will remain the same for humans. And that humans should always go into that, going into nature, connecting with the earth,
Hmm.
grounding, doing meditation, and all of those things, which I always say they are relevant always. Like, so there's,
I
yeah,
do personally feel that they create a level of protection,
yeah,
and it's like a protective bubble so that all this chaos
yeah,
can be ensuing around you, but
yeah,
it strengthens your connection with your spirit and
yeah,
allows you to continue to grow and to fortify your spirit and purify
yes,
anything that needs to be cleansed out.
yes, yes, yes.
Is there any last thing that you wanted to share
Yeah.
with the
No,
community?
this is the last thing, best note to end on.
Yeah.
This the timeless note.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
The Vedic disciplines will never let you down.
yes, yes.
Well, much gratitude for sharing with us and illuminating us on the transits that are coming this year.
Yeah.
Well, with this year's forecast, it looks like we're finally beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel, which is very encouraging with these transits that are supporting this transition that we find ourselves in. In 2 days from the publishing of this video, I'm going to be sending out via my email newsletter all of the transit dates so that you can copy and paste it into your calendar and align yourself with the planetary energies as they unfold. You can go to my website, oxnelia.org. I'll link it below and sign up to the email newsletter where you will be getting all kinds of updates that are going on this channel. I'm also going to be launching a Patreon soon that's going to be incorporating frequency celestial plays in alignment with all of the transits this year. If you want to learn more about Vedic astrology, check out this playlist here. And if you want to learn more about Vedic lifestyle and how to align yourself with divinity through purification and fortification of the spirit, check out this video here. I'm sending you all so much warmth, love, and spiritual evolution and discipline. I'll see you in the next video.